Hi, this is Ren.
This is Casey.
And this is All Walks of Film, and sometimes television. So, we just got done watching episode 4. Hi, this is Ren.
This is Casey.
And this is All Walks of Film, and sometimes television. So, we just got done watching episode 5 of season 4 of Black Mirror, Metalhead. Now, this season has been really hit or miss for us so far, and I will say that this episode was a hit for me.
Mm-hmm.
While it was derivative of some things that I had seen before, there was enough originality in its style and context that I didn't have the same complaints that I did with the last episode that we saw, Hang the DJ. So, this episode looks a lot different than any other Black Mirror episode, partly because it's in black and white.
And I kind of think that that's probably because there's too much blood in it.
Yeah, it is a really gory episode, and I agree with you. I think some of the violence is, in a sense, toned down because you're not able to see it in its full saturation.
Yeah.
It's also the least like any other episode because it is the post-apocalypse, essentially, and really barren. Most episodes deal with a very crowded society, and this is very isolated. The only other episode that I can think of that was this isolated was their Christmas special.
Yeah.
So in that way, it's very similar. But other than that, this is possibly the most unlike Black Mirror episode that I've seen so far. Honestly, it feels more like an episode that you would see in Oat Studios than like something in Black Mirror, which I was really digging. You and I both are huge fans of post-apocalyptic films.
And Oat Studios.
Yeah, so it was fun to see something different, especially when seeing the same was kind of becoming a little bit droll this season.
Mm-hmm.
So the episode starts out with 3 survivors trying to look for something to give back to their community. It's not really clear what they're looking for. Not a lot of details are given in this episode, so the episode unfolds as a mystery. Like, you're still trying to, like, piece things together.
Right.
So while they're looking in an abandoned warehouse, I would assume it's abandoned, just because I think they are the last remnants of society, even though that this episode doesn't have a scroll or anything saying where it is in time or what happened. Mm-hmm. You just assume this must be long after several of the events of Black Mirror, since everything is in the same universe in this show.
Well, they did have a thing at the beginning where they were talking about how there aren't any more pigs.
Right. And that's sort of similar to Hated in the Nation, where all the bees were gone, and they were replaced by drone bees, and now there are no pigs, but there are mechanical dogs, or as I like to think of them, hounds, like in Fahrenheit 451, because that was the first thing that I thought of when I saw these mechanical dogs of war.
Yeah, but they were the ones who killed the pigs. At the beginning, they said that the dogs were the ones responsible for killing all these pigs. And I obviously thought, because of the way they were talking, that they meant actual dogs. Like wolves or something like that. Or coyotes. I had thought that it was kind of a similar phenomenon. No, not at all.
Yeah, and in the episode, it is a bit unclear whether or not the mechanical dogs just became self-aware and, wiped out humanity or what. It's unclear how the apocalypse happened. I assume it's an apocalypse and not just an isolated area where that happened.
I mean, it might be a more isolated area. That's a possibility, especially if it was if it took place on an island or something like that. It could take place in the same timeline as everything else and just be in a secluded area. But when we first saw the episode and the dog was starting to attack them, I thought that it was there to protect the warehouse. But it becomes really apparent as the episode goes on that no, they're not just like killing these 3 people specifically because they tried to break into this warehouse. They're just killing everything.
Yeah, and it does sort of feel like a more realistic version of the Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have these sort of like Ed 209 mechanical dogs that run on batteries as well as solar energy, which I thought that was really cool how she was hiding up in the tree waiting for this mechanical hound to lose its battery. And then, as soon as it becomes daylight, it starts recharging. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a really neat, intuitive way to build up suspense. And this episode was really tense, and the suspense was really, really good. This was possibly the most straightforward genre episode that we've ever seen. I mean, outside of the formula of Black Mirror, this felt more like a self-contained film that didn't necessarily have to be part of Black Mirror.
Yeah, and I like that about it.
Yeah, I did too. So the woman in the episode, I originally thought was Keri Russell.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't. But she was amazing.
Yeah.
I really would like to see her in more work. Now, this was a very quiet episode. I'm not used to Black Mirror being this quiet, and I think it was a really refreshing take. I think that, especially given our hang-ups with the past couple episodes, to have characters just shut up and let the tension build, I think worked really well. I think that would have helped one episode that we felt was especially cold, Crocodile. If they had just shut off most of the dialogue in that episode, I think it would have been a lot more tense.
Yeah, I agree.
So these mechanical hounds have this very interesting ability to shoot trackers. Like it's sort of like a spray of trackers that they shoot, and it embeds onto the people. And I thought that was really an interesting idea to like sort of add to the Terminator universe, even though I know this isn't Terminator. It just feels like it is.
Yeah, that was part of the reason why I thought that they were designed to protect the warehouse, because that probably was their intent, like their original intention was to be like guard robots, same when you have guard animals.
Yeah, and kind of like those, what is it, the mechanical trash can? Or something like that was like keeping away homeless people. They were like,
oh yeah.
We are getting to the point where, the idea of robo patrol vehicles / mechanized animals are not really sci-fi anymore. I know some people would look at this and be like, oh, that's ridiculous, but we're getting really close to having technology like this. I mean, it's only a matter of time before drones become autonomous. And then I'm sure hackers can manipulate it. I don't know about the idea of singularity, but there are a lot of people who say that it is plausible. Whether or not machines would actually want to kill us is up for speculation. But given how destructive we are to the world, I could certainly see that as a possibility. So, what did you think of Metalhead? Let us know in the comments below, and thanks for listening.